everyone, Andy here. This episode is a little different today. However, I needed to make a correction prior to you getting a chance to listen. Unfortunately, I'll have to spoil some of the suspense as it relates to Mike's recent news announced at Vox Community that he's decided to move to Columbus, Ohio. During this episode, we mentioned a website that currently does not exist, voxoh.com. So what we were asking is this: if you are in the Columbus area or nearby and would like to participate in the Future of the Vox podcast, please go to voxpodcast.com. And at the top of the page, you'll find direction to a page to offer us your email so that we can contact you about future things we'd like to explore around the podcast and a future gathering in Ohio. So in the future, you'll be able to visit voxoh.org for more information as we grow that. But like I said, in the meantime, though, again, please go to voxpodcast.com to give us your email list. Thanks, guys. Here's Mike.
Hey, Internet. Mike and Andy here. Got a bit of a unique episode for you today. As you are hearing this, so we release it on Sunday night, Monday morning. This will be released on the 24th of July.
Right.
As you're hearing this, I am driving the Erre minivan to move the family across the country to live in Columbus, Ohio. We will have we're going to tell our church, or we will have told our church, but. This is called the Ohio episode, and we want to explain a little bit about the future of Vox, the church, Vox, the podcast. So for those of you, that's the punchline.
Yeah.
My family and I are moving to Ohio today. So you are hearing this when my daughter and I are driving 32 hours in the car, and she hates being in the car. So, but she's up for an adventure. So I'm going to ask you to literally start emailing me if you live in Ohio.
Right. And if you're hearing it if you're hearing it Monday morning,
right, the 24th or 25th or 26th, we're like on the road.
Yeah.
So boom. So anyway, what a crazy thing. So, if you've been listening for a while, you know 2017's been not a banner year for the Erre clan. Anxiety, cancer, and heart issues have kind of made an appearance in my life again, and not again, but I mean melanoma got cut out of me, and something called atrial fibrillation, which for me is being related to being fatty. So the first part of 2017 was just ridiculous. I mean, just like, again, compared to other people, not horrible, but for us, it was like, whoa, this is all a lot at once.
Yeah.
And one of the things that happened, I think I mentioned on the podcast one time, is that my mom got diagnosed with polycythemia vera or something, which is a slow developing cancer of the blood that makes your blood thicken and can lead to leukemia. It can increase chance for heart attack and stroke. Mm-hmm. And so we heard that, we were just like, well, what the heck. And so, we instantly thought, well, dang, what's that mean? Because my dad was diagnosed with cancer in 2007, 2007.
2007.
And I lived out here, and I went back to visit him and a couple of times, but I regret the way I handled it, because instead of just taking a month to be with him, I didn't realize how serious it was. And then when I did, I had to come back to teach a class at Biola and to preach and whatever else, because I'd been away for a while, and my dad died while I was here. And and my brother was with him, and I've just been so bummed since that happened about the way I handled that. Mm-hmm. So when all of this happened, and then mom gets sick, my initial thought was, well, what does that mean for us being a blessing to her? Now, since that initial diagnosis, there have been some conflicting blood tests. There's we don't know if it is this or if it's something else. But she was out here visiting a couple of times, and you could just see, like, she's super tired. She's this incredibly high energy person. And you could just see, like, there's something new going on. So we began thinking and praying, kind of quietly about, well, okay, what's this mean? We don't, great. It could be decades she has this, and it could be as treatable as just, taking some of her blood out every now and again, or it could be something bigger. So
Right.
How do you wrestle with this? And then for me, how do I become healthy? How do I adopt more of a pace that's sustainable or whatever? And so we just started asking all these big questions, and we realized that it was Vox and all the relationships here that were the primary reason we would stay, and that my mom and a lifestyle kind of pace would be primary reasons we would go. And we just finally came to the conclusion that we'd regret it if we didn't go, and it felt like the right thing to do. And it's not. We're very, very mixed. I've been crying for 2 weeks because I've left 3 churches, and when I left a church called Rock Harbor, I was ready to leave. I knew it was time to leave. When I left a church called Mariners, I knew it was time to leave. When I left a church that was EV free, I knew it was time to leave. This one, I'm not don't want to leave. And so it's taken me a while, but Andy and our Vox team have been the ones advocating or going with the following argument. Hey, if you were giving counsel to somebody else, wouldn't you tell them to leave too? and so I want to let you know a couple of things. Number one, VoxOC.com is still going, baby. There's something happening so uniquely there that we are excited about, and there's a community worth fighting for. And there'll be some drop off, of course. Some people have come just because I teach there, and and so if that's not there, they'll okay, there are lots. But Vox was never for those people,
Right.
Vox is an entirely different community built on the Eucharist and built on what the Eucharist represents and being safe to belong. And that's not going to change. And so Andy and our team, we're just as absolutely committed. And with technology now, I can pipe in, this is not going to be a video venue. This is going to be like Facebook living Q&A like we do, or having table fellowships where we do specific podcasts for them, or having me teach from Ohio a couple of times a month, at the beginning of the service or whatever. But it's incredibly sad for us to leave this community so soon. And for the people that invested in us, I mean, we're going. We're going to fight. And if God, if God or others say, "Oh no, this doesn't need to exist anymore," we have no compulsion to say, "Okay, well then we'll close it." But we suspect that Vox is bigger than just one liturgical expression in Orange County. There's something far more interesting happening.
Yeah.
And so the future of Vox is we're still going to do the podcast, of course. I mean, that's easy.
Yeah.
We Skype all the time. There's no problem. So no change in the podcast, except that I will be now saying the World Vox headquarters from Columbus, Ohio. The second thing is the church is going to keep going, and I'm going to be as absolutely involved in it through tech as I can be. I mean, I'm still going to lead it, still going to be involved in it. We'll still meet on Tuesday mornings with our crew via Skype. So it's not the same, but it's worth fighting for. I'm so proud of the response of our folks who just said, okay, well, that doesn't change anything. We're still here.
Right.
And I'm just like, my goodness. I mean, this is the opportunity to show that you can build a church and have it survive the loss of a personality. And I've seen it happen before at churches I've been in. And I just think the Vox thing's so special. Now, So the church is going to keep going. The podcast is going to keep going, but I'm going to try to launch a Vox OH. That's kind of the big news. I just cannot foresee myself sitting in a house during the 6 months of winter, doing nothing but recording podcasts. So if you live in Ohio, would you email me right now at mike@voxoc.com? We're going to start a new website called Vox OH because we have voxoc.com. We're going to do voxoh.com. And so I want to gather a tribe. I already hear from a lot of you in Ohio. You email in or tweet or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I just thought, hey, it'd be nice to know there are people there that, because this is tough. This is hard. This is sad. I've been here exactly 20 years. I moved out here in 97 and leaving in 2017. And so I've had the incredible privilege of serving in phenomenal churches. California has, my wife and I met here. Our kids have all grown up here. It's a tough thing. And Vox is the most beautiful thing I've ever been a part of. And so we're so sad. And yet we're excited to be with my mom. We're excited to have our kids experience a different pace of life and seasons, and to really know when to put scarves on. Not when it's 60, but when it's like in the teens.
The right time to wear a beanie.
Yep. And God opened up a place for us that's literally, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes from Ohio State's campus. So, I mean, for a Buckeye fan, this is like nirvana. but
or is it Pearl Jam?
Yeah. Well, Andy Bear on fire. And so this is such a bittersweet thing because, the last thing we want to do is add to the hurt of people in the church. And to have worked so hard to start this, and then to kind of feel like we're redeployed, it's very sad for us. And at the same time, we trust that God has something going. And for those of you that support us on Patreon, your support is more important than ever because literally I have no job. I have literally no job in Ohio waiting. I'm going to do some guest teaching. I know I'm speaking at like a couple of fall retreats and but literally we've got nothing. And so for you who support us in Patreon, just thank you. I mean, that's an amazing thing to even.
And for those of you who've thought about maybe doing it sometime soon, now would be a good time to jump in.
Yeah, and I will actually do Revelation now because I will have time.
Yeah, no excuse now.
No excuses. But that's the big news, and so we didn't plan this episode. Obviously, we just kind of turned on the mic and. So I want to say several things just publicly. First, I have learned more from the people and the experiences in the churches I've been a part of than I ever could have thought. And so I have been so blessed to work at Rock Harbor and Mariners and EV Free. And the people there and the leadership there and the lessons I've learned have all been invaluable, and have all created what Vox, we want Vox to be.
Yeah.
And so it's been such a freaking honor to be a chunky, husky, Midwestern football-loving dude and to be given grace and favor in Southern California. It's been amazing to us. I'm just starting to tear up thinking about it. But so thank you for those of you who have participated, for those of you who have cheered us on. Thank you. For those of you who are part of the Vox tribe, whether locally or in Southern California elsewhere or throughout the United States or the world, this has been the greatest thing ever. And the folks that saw the beauty of Vox as a church expression before there was anything, the 80 people that supported us, the 80 people that started giving money, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to do this, and I'm so sorry to leave. and I feel embarrassed to leave yet again. And I think there will be people who will just be like, well, yeah, that's what Mike does. He stays for a year or two and he's out. I get that. And, I'm guilty as charged. This one though is different than the others. This one is not something, we don't feel like it's time to go. So we're not going. We're just transplanting, and we're
relocating,
expanding in Andy's words, but that feels too weight centric. So literally,
inspiration from a thicker Jesus over here on the shelf.
Oh yes, that is a book title. I'm like, yes, the thicker Jesus. The kids and my wife, we processed this for months. The Vox team, they were utterly unanimous in our going. Which was really surprising to us, and then there have been a couple of folks in Ohio who've paved the way for us to come back. So that's the big thing. If you would pray for the Vox community in Orange County, we'd be honored, because this is a big deal, and it's not a big deal. I mean, the gospel will go forward. The kingdom is big. The church is indestructible. Even in its frailty, and the people, the quality of people that God's drawn together into this community has been ridiculous. So I have full confidence in it going forward. If you want to support the Vox community or the podcast, as Andy said, now's a good time, but no worries. God will provide either way. Yeah. We've never done this for income or livelihood or whatever. Vox has always just been the thing that we felt like God was calling us to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you live in Ohio, would love to hear from you specifically. And if you live in Columbus, would love to hear from you specifically, because Andy's going to put up a Vox OH page. And if you want to find out more about Vox OH, because I have no freaking clue what that even means.
Right now, it's inception.
Yes.
Like it's there's already an idea somewhere
yes, there's nothing.
That's pre-planted in the mind that somehow is going to work itself out.
Right, exactly. There is nothing. But you'll put up a webpage.
I will.
And you can sign up for an email list.
Yeah, and I'll put a little input on there. So you can sign up for an email list if you want to know more information about stuff that's coming. And as we figure it out.
Oh, my Lord. So,
yeah.
I don't know, Andy. What are your thoughts, man? Anything you want to add to all this?
It's... yeah, sure. Yeah, it's it's sad. It's sad that this is because it's not that it's sad because all of a sudden now Mike's leaving the church, and that's not even the conversation. Mike isn't leaving the church. That's not. He's making a good decision and a right decision based on things that are happening, and so therefore we are just operating in this new norm in this new season. Right. And Mike is still kind of the leader of this Vox thing that we're doing, so his involvement is still 100%. It's just in a different context. So that's not I've always and I've been playing the side of encouragement and security, mainly because like I being a part of this thing from the beginning, I believe that something is happening not because of something I think, rather from what I'm seeing happen. Exactly what he said. All the folks at Vox Community, our launch team that played a part in that, so many people have said in very unsolicited ways, poignantly saying like, well, I'm here not because you're here and you're teaching. I'm here because of what this community has become for me. Like whether it's them sharing how important us sharing stories every week have become, the deep kind of theology and symbolism around celebrating Eucharist together and how that's kind of transformed their way of spending time with people in tension.
Personal table
fellowship. I mean, them like even last night, like meeting with this other guy for our team, him saying like that he came from such a rigid, legalistic Romanian background to then being able to instantly be sharing himself and his story with someone right there on Sunday morning after the fact that they were just open and sharing because the room felt like it made room for that to happen. Yeah. Like he said, that's what keeps him there.
Yeah.
And so it's that's just a huge encouragement, and I think there's something to that. And yeah, it's gonna prove itself, in the midst of all this. But at the same time, this is also kind of creating some opportunity to try some things out and test some things out we've been interested in. And already, so that's
Vox. Our dream for Vox was never that it would just like there would be one expression of it.
Right. So it's kind of, this actually kind of pushes us into saying, okay, well, that next thing is coming then. So let's take a close look at that and let's see if there's something to that. And so, if anything, it actually, it feels like if you listen to anything in business and startup culture and all those kinds of podcasts, for us, this feels more like a pivotal kind of moment for what we've kind of done. So that's what's difficult about it, is whenever you're in this pivot, it feels terrible. Like it feels like you're betraying. It feels like you're making a mistake. It feels like all that stuff is there. But there's something that's causal in that necessity to happen for the sake of the thing. Like for the sake of the thing, we all felt this was necessary, mainly because it was like there's no point in having our good friend Mike around, sold out to this whole thing going on, and he's miserable and like his health is suffering from it, and if something were to happen to Mama Rita, living with that, it was absolutely unanimous that we're like, no man, you got to go. So but yeah, I mean that's my 2 cents. And
Andy's been such a stud. I mean, Andy, it's so funny because I sought a lot of wisdom and got a lot of pushback, just like, okay, so are you just hopping churches again, or are you just running, or I don't know, you whatever. But Andy had this about 5-minute rant yesterday. No, a couple of weeks ago, that just solidified, permission for us to go and to know that the church is in great hands. But I also want to try to convey excitement about Columbus. I mean, not just because it's Ohio State, but because it's the largest undergraduate institution. There's 140,000 college kids in the greater Columbus area. And you're just like, well, that's something. Yeah. Columbus is like the 5th or 8th largest city in the country. I mean, so there's mission there. It's not just we're there. I'm thrilled to be with my mom. I'm thrilled to embrace kind of, because to me this is scary as heck. This is like, I'm terrified, not of Ohio, but of the transition from something I love and something that's known and something that's awesome and that's going great. I mean, that's the thing, man. Right. And so I'm just terrified. And yet there are things that we're excited about too. And it's just this weird podcast I never thought we'd be doing, but we wanted to let you know. And we want to let you know after we let the church know. And our church, I wish you just could have seen how freaking amazing our community is. Yeah. Our goal, like with Teresa and Sherman, who are traveling now through the country, they have a place in Ohio. We heard from somebody. Where did that guy email from?
Memphis. We got a spot from Memphis. We got some folks. We haven't actually got a good chance to talk about this on our show. We've talked about it. Okay. Yeah, we've talked about it at Vox Community. But we haven't actually talked about it on our show. So I mean, we could take a quick moment to kind of quickly share that.
Yeah, go.
So our friends, Teresa and Sherman, were podcast listeners up in LA that in their loft, they were basically doing table fellowship with some friends, and they were listening to the podcast like every Thursday night and invited friends over, and they were discussing it. And they shared this with us, and they showed up at Vox Community and started telling us about what they were doing and started attending there for a while. And they hit this point where they're like, life here, just something's off. And the decision they made was to pack up everything, put some stuff in storage, sell some other stuff, and basically hit the road and travel, do some things. I think they're going to spend some time with a farming organization and travel. Sherman is an incredible photographer, an artist. Teresa is an amazing cook. Yep. And on the Vox Community live stream, when they shared about their adventure, they opened it up saying, if there's anyone out there that's listening to the podcast, listening to the Vox Community thing, and is interested in hosting us, we'd love to meet you. And I think Sherman he's going to be trying to maybe record some of your stories and getting to share a little bit about how you became exposed to the Vox podcast and our community. And then we would actually want to put those on our show. So that is a thing. You can actually go to their website, which is A Wilder Life. So that's A Wilder, WILDER life.com.
I love that.
So they have their blog on there. You can actually see where they're at. You can contact them there. But if you are somewhere in the United States and you'd be interested in hosting them for a night or two, they would love to meet you. So you can either contact us through hello@voxpodcast.com, or you could even contact them direct through their website. So that's a thing. So we're super excited to kind of catch up with them here soon.
But the point is it's spreading.
Yes, absolutely.
So we've got people emailing in, hey, how do I start one of these?
Yes.
Where was that guy from?
Well, over the time we've started this, I'd say we've probably talked to maybe about 20 different people who've chimed in saying, hey, like, is there a place like this in Atlanta that I can go to, or that's wrestling with these conversations? Or, hey, I'm in such and such city. Like, I'm in, there was someone in Nashville that hit us up that was like, I got a couple friends, we listen to you guys, and we'd love to do something, but there's been that conversation where, how do I start something? Our friends Dan and Jamie up in Sacramento, they were definitely interested in, like, okay, we're very interested in opening our home and doing something.
So part of what we're going to do as part of this kind of, I don't know, transition is I'm going to write some stuff. Andy will write some stuff on, because there isn't a blueprint, but there are some guardrails. Yeah. There are some values and convictions that might be helpful along the way.
Right.
And literally to start over, to walk into Columbus and go, okay, well, here we go again. Is just going to be crazy. So anyway, we won't bore you with more details. I hope we've captured. I don't know. Do you think we've kind of captured the conversation? This is such a hard.
I think so. This is the first conversation of many to come about the forward steps and next steps of things that are coming. But absolutely, we wanted to make this announcement and let you guys know what's going on with Mike. And
you're literally, if you're hearing it on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, we are in the minivan, okay, driving through the panhandle of Texas for like 40 hours.
Yeah.
So anyway, giddy up as they say. So pray for us if you think of it, just our grieving and our getting readjusted. Email us if you would, and pray for Vox OC, just because obviously this is a hard thing, not our first choice, but we really do think it's the right thing. Yep. So to that end, my brothers and sisters, may the Lord bless us and keep us. May the Lord shine his face upon us. May he lift his countenance to us and give us peace in these days. Holy cow. Literally.
So you know how, buddy.
Yeah, oh my word.
Hey guys, Andy here again. Just wanted to remind you, if you're in the Columbus area and you want to get involved with the podcast and support Mike and participate in whatever comes up and however this goes down, go to voxpodcast.com, follow the directions at the top of the page, give us your email, and we're looking forward to getting in touch with you. Thanks, guys. Hey, thanks for listening to the Vox Podcast. Learn more about us at voxpodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at the Vox Podcast, and now support us on Patreon at patreon.com/voxpodcast.